Oh, good afternoon. I'm laughing at myself because I was coming on and I was like, oh, I want to get rid of um, some of these open pages, and so they don't distract me. And so I reached up, not really paying attention, and I clicked on one of them, and it closed it. I was like, oh snap! I didn't want to do that. Oh well, it was fun. So today I'm coming on in a in a different light. I read a post of another um, biker, and he's one of our he is a spider riders distributor of all things spider extracurricular and make your bike look good and ride better and things like that. And he's been diagnosed with a sickness that yeah, under normal circumstances, it's going to take a whole lot for him to get through that. And I've watched him over the last couple of years, or last few years, I don't even know how many, how he's battled one thing and he's come back and everything would be okay, and then he'd battle again, and he keeps coming back and he keeps coming back. And, at some point in time, he said, the Lord doesn't want me to leave because I'm still here. And I'm like, you're right. And then last night I read something and he's like, well, and when I'm gone, and then two men were chiming in about, yeah, it'll be great. You'll be in heaven and how wonderful it's going to be. And there's no more pain. There's no more crying. There's no more cancer. There's no more all this stuff. And I'm like, I think you guys are missing the big picture. There's no more wives in heaven. You've got amazing wives here on earth. That if for no other reason, that's reason enough to fight. So to fight for your life here on earth, and that's just to be with the one who loves you. I mean, I'm not saying that they don't love their wives, but let me say that if all you're thinking about is taking your happy little butt to heaven and everything's going to be hunky dory, well, it's not. Because here on earth, this is what has to happen, or this is what happens. We get left behind. You leave anything undone, we get to clean it up, or we get to finish it. You don't do something, we get to do it. You forgot to pay your tax bill, oh, great, we get to pay it. You didn't do whatever it was in your life that you didn't do, it falls back on us. And it just ticks me off royally angry that you would think that, oh, it's going to be so wonderful. It is, but it's only going to be wonderful for you. It's not wonderful so much for the people that are left behind. If I had the choice of whether or not to have my husband's in heaven or on earth, I'm sure at some point in time, or well, right after Eddie passed, I'm sure I would have rather had him on earth. But I wouldn't be where I am today if he was here. If I had the choice of whether or not to have Robert here with me on earth, I'd choose him here. We weren't married that long. We didn't get that opportunity to. I hadn't even been married 2 years. I hadn't even had my 2 year anniversary yet. And it ticks me off because you guys make decisions, or because guys make decisions, and then it's like, oh well, you didn't ask me. That goes back to when I got into real estate and I signed up for a network and I signed up at the highest level. I was thinking, well, Robert, you'll just come in with me, and then we'll get the daughter and the family in, and it'll be a family business, and it'll be great. And so I signed us all up, and he just had some kind of an attitude about it. I was like, what is the deal? He said, you never asked me. Is that what I wanted to do? You just did it. Well, here's the thing. You know, when he signed those papers that said, here, you are my medical power of attorney, and you're my whatever durable power of attorney, and you're my whatever else it is that you're supposed to be, you didn't ask me. You didn't ask me, is that the position I wanted to be put in? You didn't ask me, did I want to be the one to sit there and make that decision? And it was not an easy one either. To drug you and keep you drugged until you just died. You didn't ask me these things. And anybody that just sits there and takes for granted their spouse and doesn't ask them, do you want to be my durable power of attorney? Do we want to keep fighting for my life here on earth? And it may be a medical fight, yes, but more likely than not, it's a spiritual battle that you have to win within. And most people are not up to the fight. They don't have the strength in them. And I'm not talking about physical strength. I'm talking about um they haven't built up the endurance that it takes to fight certain battles. When Robert was diagnosed or before he went into the hospital, I'm actually looking for the words, and I don't think that this is it. This is, no, this isn't the one. Anyway, before he went into the hospital, the Tuesday before the Friday he went in, the Lord told me the question was to ask the Lord. This is the question to ask the Lord. What is the most important thing you want me to know right now? So I asked. I wrote it down. I asked. I listened. And the Lord said this: Robert is going through a spiritual battle right now that he doesn't know how to fight. But you're going to help him through this. You're going to help him fight through this. I was like, oh, okay. Because the second part was, well, what is my part? And my part was to help him through it. I didn't know what that meant. So I thought it was something that was going to be fun, because I think that God's love is fun. God's love is fun. His joy is fun. Everything about God, really and truly, is fun. His holiness even his holiness is fun. And I'm like, oh, good, this is going to be fun. A few days later, I found out that wasn't going to be fun. And that's when things went downhill. And I've spoken about it before, about, him calling his friends saying, hey, I think I'm in trouble here. Y'all gotta pray for me. And ultimately, he did pass. But it wasn't until he had been battling all kinds of stuff, and doctors had been coming in and sitting with him and asking him all kinds of questions. They never bothered to ask me. None of them ever said, what do you think about this? Or how do you feel about that? Or anything like that. Maybe I would have answered them, maybe not. But that's not the point. The point was, you didn't ask. And made decisions without really consulting me. He made decisions without consulting me. And I think a lot of spouses do that. They make decisions without consulting the other one that ultimately they're going to be leaving them behind. That's not fair. It's just not fair. I left the hospital after him being in for a month. In the morning that he passed, I left the hospital. It was in the afternoon, and and I was at the elevator. I said, God, this isn't fair. I just got out of the widow's club, and now I'm back in it. And he said, don't call yourself a widow. You're my bride. You call yourself my bride. And for that, it was like, okay, I knew what he meant. I knew what he meant. And the difference is in the Old Testament, a widow was someone to look down on. And she was impoverished. She was always seemed to be in trouble, was a beggar, was just poor, just all kinds of negative things. But in in the Bible, a bride is someone to be celebrated, someone to be cherished and loved and treated with grace and kindness and joy. And so I think that's what he's wanting. That was what he was trying to tell me was, you know, don't don't look at yourself as someone to be impoverished and looked down upon. Look at yourself as someone to be cherished and loved and enjoyed over. So for that, yay. But it's still it's not fair that the spouses sit there and think, oh, isn't this going to be great? And I'm going to be in heaven and it's all going to be hunky dory. Yeah, it is for you. But I mean, if there's a spouse that's watching this at any point in time, I just encourage you to to consider the other side. What is it going to be like for the one you leave behind? Did did you sign the will? Did you even have a will? Did you sign the will? Did you make sure that all the financial situations were taken care of? Did you make sure that somebody was going to be there to come by and check on them and make sure that they wouldn't have to live in a house that just felt empty because you weren't there? I mean, think about these things. Did you make sure? Are you making sure that she knows all the passwords to everything? Because I can guarantee you, I sure don't. And I have to keep trying and keep trying until I get it done right, or I have to call somebody and say, "Can you help me figure this out?" And it really makes me feel crappy to have to lean on people for passwords. I'm laughing at myself because I worked at a company years ago, and every day I'd go in, it's like, oh, everything was all online, everything. And I'd never been in a situation like that before, and I was like, okay. And I kept messing my password up, and I'd get locked out almost every day. And finally, my boss said, okay, for you, Christy, here's your password. And I think it was ABC123. She said, don't lose it. I figured it out. But anyway, it's just been one of those things. But my let's get back on track, and that is before you make decisions about the end of your life, consider what it's going to be for the person that's left behind. I always thought that Robert and I, because of the way that we loved each other, because of our relationship, that we would live forever together, and that if one of us went, we both went, and it was going to be great. I mean, may not be for the family, but they, you know, I guess they would have gotten over it, but never, ever in my wildest dreams did I figure that he would go long before me or shortly after the wedding. That was not my favorite thing. So anyway, I vented. I've vented. Um, I can say this. Yes, this is how it went. That Robert went before me. No, it's not how I wanted it to be. But God has a plan. And every day that I get up, it, I'm winning. It's a success. I was talking about that this morning on a Zoom call, and they were like, "You set a goal to lose 250 pounds. When you got up that first day, were you a success?" And the man said, "No." And I'm like, "Yeah, you were." And then they said, "The next time, and the next time, and 6 months later, were you a success?" He said, "Yes." I could look in the mirror and I could see myself as a success. Let me tell you something. Every day that I get up, I'm a success. It's because I choose to get up. It's because I'm going to go forward. I can look in the mirror, and it's not going to change that much when I look in the mirror, but I'm still a success, and I'm going to keep getting up, and I'm going to keep getting up. There are days. This past weekend was one. I'm gonna have to really do some editing on that video I did yesterday morning because I was experiencing some symptoms in my head, and it was affecting my ability to speak. And but I got on here and I recorded a video, and most people wouldn't be able to tell. I could, but and you won't be able to tell after I edit all the yucky stuff out. But still, I got up. I encourage you to get up every day. That's your first victory. You get up. And as you go through the day, there are other victories. I've got a list of victories I've already achieved today. And I set out today to do things like pay my toll bill for my trip to Austin, and I trying to get a certificate printed off, um, and just I've made phone calls and meetings and things like that, and every one of those things have been done, and I wasn't fussing at the Lord. I know it sounds like I fuss a lot at the Lord. I don't. But I was talking with the Lord, and I was like, man, it just seems like this week is so empty. But I've got two meetings tonight. I need to go. I need to go to, and I don't know which one to do. Which reminds me, I need to RSVP the one I am going to. And I just was like, um, I had all these things I had planned to do. I did get up this morning. I did get my shower this morning. I took my dogs and I had breakfast. We went on our morning walk, and came home. took mother to Zumba. They canceled her Zumba class and not telling us, but brought her back home. And then I came in here but before I took her to Zumba, I was working on things on my to do list today, and I was just getting things done, and the Lord was just showing me that I've already done it. I've already done it. I've already done it. I already took care of it. I've already taken care of all those little concerns that you have. I've already taken care of. Oh, he does. He does. He does. He takes care of the little concerns. And why I'm doing all this together, I don't know, but it's coming out. So here it is. It- um, so if you take all those little concerns and those cares and little things, now I do have phone calls I need to make, but I've already invited somebody over today to do some real estate stuff, and we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna learn it together. She's a new big dog, and I'm an older big dog, and so we're gonna work together on things, and we're gonna see how I can help her in her journey to get going in the right direction, because it would have been lovely if somebody would have done this with me, but they didn't. And praise God. I was listening to Steve Backlund a few days ago, and he's like, I was really glad I had to do it the hard way. I had to persevere. I'm kind of there's part of me that's kind of jelly about the other people that get in there and everything just seems to work out wonderful, and they get partners and all this other stuff and this, that, and the other, and it all goes well. But then the real me comes up and says, I'm really glad it didn't do like that, because I would have false expectations of how things are going to work out. Had it all worked out like that for me, and then Robert passed, then I wouldn't have had to lean so heavily on the Lord to find out, what are you saying to me? Who are you wanting to be for me today? And during those times, he was saying, I want to be your provider. And I'm like, okay, you are my source. And he was just showing me step by step by step, Christy, I'm your provider. I'm your source. I'm your redeemer. I'm your husband. I'm your lover. I'm the one who takes care of you. I take care of every detail of you. And he brought me back to this place where I realized that he takes care of me. Every detail that I have, he takes care of. I'm just like, I'm in awe of his goodness, of how well he takes care of me. I've got things in the back of my head or in the back of my mind that are just coming, some new clothing items that I would like to have. I have a dress that I bought a couple of years ago, never worn it, because I wanted to buy a Western belt and a pair of like a champagne, or not white, but champagne or off white Western boots to go with it, because it would just be lovely with that dress. It's still sitting in the closet, but when I was saying he takes care of those things, I think this year that's what's going to happen. I think I'll have that belt and those boots. There's places that I want to go and things that I want to see, and he's put them in my heart. He put them in your heart. If he puts a desire in your heart, he will fulfill that desire for you. And people are like, you gotta set your goals, and you gotta do this, and you gotta do that. I've listened to him a lot this year saying, hey, I really want you to do a vision board. And I'm kind of like, I don't really know what I'm doing with a vision board, but I'm going to. And I'm going to see on that vision board just what comes about. Let's just say I'm so thankful for him. I'm so thankful for God because without him I would have never gotten to this point today. I wouldn't have I would have never dreamed to come on and just start talking to people on camera. No, not in a million years. But anyway, so I have vented a lot today, a little more than I intended to. And I'm just going to say, I hope he gets something out of it. I really hope he gets something out of it. I really hope that that one husband that need, or not just one husband, any husband that needs to hear this, instead of giving up their fight, they'll hear this and it'll light that fire under their butt, and they run to the one who's already healed everything in their body, in their mind, in their spirit, made them whole, loved them, keeps loving them no matter what, and keeps teaching them. God is that person. All right. I bless y'all, and I'll talk to you later. Hey, here's the thing. If you like this, consider liking, subscribing, and hit the notification bell. And that way it helps me grow. And I'd like to see your comments too. So, all right, y'all. I'll see you later. Blessings. Bye.